if I don't go to those 3 schools, then my time here was not going to be worth it. That's what I did. I wrote down 3 schools: State School, Prince Edward, and Alan Wilson. Those are the 3 schools that I chose. I said that I have to go to those top boys' schools. Those are the schools that I want to go to. I have written it down before I even came here. And I managed to go to one of them. So the idea of writing goes down to know that what you want to do. Same as registering my company that I did register. I thought about it years before I even came here. So the idea of writing goes down is very important because goals define where you want to go. Because you can't have a car without a destination. You can't be able to say anything to happen if you don't know where you want to go. So coming here is supposed to be your starting point. To know that I'm here, I'm trained to be a teacher. But there's far more things beyond being a teacher. And my mother maybe decided to tell me that. But I said that there's more things bigger than just coming here being a teacher. And you can see even the numbers right now. You are failing to find somewhere to sit. I was struggling with it, starting on Monday when we were writing our final exams. Struggling to find a place to sit. That tells you something that this good is now over-exhausted. So you have to think about alternatives. What else can I do? Because I think you can see how many you are to be able to think about. Of course, I'm getting a diploma, but what else is to come out of that diploma? What else do I have to do? So when I went to Chechu Boys, I managed to get access to the resources that I wanted. Because one of my other passions was in journalism. I did journalism for a few years before coming here. So I managed to register the company that I wanted to always register, which became part of my community engagement. And I was allowed to cover a lot of things there at school. And even the headmaster himself was like, you are now going, so who's going to be doing the media stuff? Because this is when you choose something that someone else is not doing. The idea of finding a niche that you just supposed to just feel, only you can feel that void. Whereby you left it, once you leave that place, then there's no one else who can feel that void. Then that's how we create value. Because you can't create value if someone else, everyone just doing what you're doing. There's no value on that. The idea is finding something that others are failing to do and trying to find alternative solutions to that. So my mind was thinking about, I have to think bigger than just doing media for that school. No, I need something that I have to do afterwards. I was not thinking about it and looking for a job from them. The idea that I wanted, managed to get access to the resources that I wanted, to buy the equipment that I wanted, and to register the government that I wanted. That was all that I wanted. And I came back with the distinction because of that. Then, so it was effortless. Once you find something that you are good at doing, it's effortless. The effort that you put in, it's not, you enjoy the process. Yes, you enjoy the process more than anyone else does. Because you are enjoying the process, whereby you go to practice and show it as a learning curve. You know that I have to do something else. I have to do this. Then also, growing up, going through many clubs at high school, I was also into Leo Club, which is the National Charity Club, which is worldwide, which gave me access to group A schools, and also having part of debating public speaking, also doing quiz, Toastmasters. These are the clubs which changes our perspective of certain expectations of schools that you are going to choose. Because if you don't have exposure to those clubs, there's no way you are going to choose to go to Girls Eye for teaching practice. Because you just don't fit in. You don't have access to those clubs. Well, these schools are already given a certain level, which once you reach that level, they will be able to expect you to come and be part of them. So there are certain cultures that you have to learn. If you want to go up the corporate ladder, the idea that you have to learn Toastmasters, you have to learn debate, you have to learn how kids get into certain clubs which were much reserved for the elites in terms of the white minority back in the colonial era. So these are some of the things that you have to go back to understand that those things shape you as a teacher, gives you access to certain things that are going to be different from your other peers. The idea of you volunteering in clubs that anyone else is running away from. That's how you create value. So here at school we have debate public speaking. So the one you see behind the camera is brilliant. He managed to go to South Africa last year, December. And this year they'll be going to Nigeria. So this is when you see that ever since when I came here, I managed to be in debates. I was the only one here from accounts doing debates. So I tried to motivate some of the learners that were here who went to teaching practice to come and join debates, but it's still a problem with people of accounts. I don't know why. So we need to find balance to do that. Because I feel like you have to try to get into things which you are uncomfortable doing. That's how we learn. So we need you to be able to participate in the British parliamentary debate, being able to learn debate earlier. But those skills are everything. Because if you don't learn how to speak properly, how to stay in front of people, you are not going to do well in this way you are going to be entering after this diploma ends. Because the world outside that gate, it doesn't care what you do. If you don't speak up, you don't tell them what you want, you see how rough it's going to be. So it's very rough, the world outside the gate. So you need to know how to speak properly. You need to learn to be public speaking. And I managed to do my homework that I did debate public speaking. And because one thing that you have to know that even the Bible talks about that's part of the way the one that was given many talents, then he managed to go and get more. And the one who was given just one, he managed to hide it from his masters. So what I did when I came back also from teaching practice, I realized that I have learned a lot of skills in debate public speaking. I already have a company in media, so I needed another company also in debate public speaking. So I now have 2 companies. So that's how you shape things. And the advantage that we have is people of business studies and accounts. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to know everything. Because one thing, the skill that you have to be able to know about money, about business, and another thing is try to do it very well to show you practical skills that you need for business studies. So if you don't attend the lessons and listen, you're going to be left behind. So we need you to be able to learn, to know that you don't have to know everything. So once you just know about business, you can start a business that employs lawyers and they work for you. You can even start a pharmacy that has them working for you. So it's not about knowing everything. It's about being able to utilize the resources available to your advantage as you start this people, because you know more things that the other departments don't know about. Yes. So, just on my way here, I managed to come across this other news article of this guy who was given a Nama Award, who makes this other skit known as Tokoloshi. Do you know him? You know what? That he did a degree in accounting. Did anyone know about that? He has a degree in accounting at UZ. You see how we managed to set aside the degree that he did in accounting, but I know he's now in the arts here and he managed to get a number one. I know he's not now going to get endorsements, getting into contracts, making money online. That's changing the game. I think even if you look at the actual speed talk, did anyone manage to see the actual speed talk? It was a reflection that there is more things to life. He's just 20 years old and he's already has a net worth of 10 million. He's just 20 years old.
Wow.
So you see that age doesn't matter. Yes, age is just a number that you can do things right now and you can make an impact earlier in life, and it's not even late for you to do it even right now. One of the other things that I did was, I'm very grateful for Madam Sun for providing me out first time, because I was struggling to fit in. The idea that I was now coming to a culture where I'm really listening, but I have people that don't do what I do. The idea that don't read what I read. Was what I did was I managed to read books about business, money, and all that. So when she came in and started talking about those books, and I was like, this is the right person that I have to be attached to. And I was like, since that day, things changed forever. Because I was struggling to fit in, because I was someone who wanted to learn the practical aspect of doing business studies. Once I do the studies, what's next? So that shapes everything. Being able to know that what's next after I do this, what's next after I do this. Because once goals become achievable, then you can able to move on to other areas. So readers are leaders. I tell you, there's a whole list of books. If you ask her, she's going to give you out of maybe 100 or more than that. Books written on financial education, about business, about money. Even Elon Musk that we celebrate today, Elon Musk is from South Africa. He was asked even, how do you manage to build a record company? Rocket companies on SpaceX. He's talking about the idea that I read books about rockets. So all the knowledge that you want now is in the books. And you're now lucky that you're living in a digital era, that you can do anything that you want. And one of the other things that I did was I managed to do the practical aspect of learning certain areas. The idea that, no, I've learned the skill in this. Let me do something that is tangible. So I was someone who was doing a lot of videos about business studies and economics, some of the areas that I really like about it. I'm someone who just likes learning things and putting them into practice. So right now you can start learning accounts and start creating maybe content online. Right now we are now having a wider network where I don't even know, you have to know anyone. There's the idea of that you can create something that is valuable and you have people who value you and start paying you for that. Because I'm telling you right now that I came back from teaching practice because I had delayed public speaking. I was able to go to another school, which is school at where I was staying there. And I managed to go to the office of the headmaster and say, I want a job to teach here, why this time Italy. What do you have for me? I'm good at teaching this and that. And I've been teaching there. And my contract ended last week. I was teaching there coming. That's when you realize we have 24 hours, which is a lot of time. Be able to do other things. Be able to go and do other many things, then you can still join the other class. And you can even imagine that you have a sequence where we have white people, they have their kids almost, they travel all around the world. If you ever wondered how they learn, you will be left in class, then he's exploring with this kid. Then he comes in class, then he aces the exam. But he has another thing that we don't have, which is exposure. That changes the whole roadmap of being in class, in someone not being in class and getting the exposure and learning at the same time exploring the world. And he still comes in class and you are in class and you are now different. And also gets to get better grades than you again. You see how much time we do waste to not find other things that we can do. To just sit around and say that I'm now here. And there's this good message that I love from we have President Johnny Kennedy, who was assassinated, the youngest president of America. He talks about that. With this first time coming into office, he was talking about a message that was ahead of his time. The idea that don't ever expect much from your country. Look at what you can do for your country. He talked about that in 1960. Imagine the world was still better then, but he mentioned that in his speech that don't expect anything from the country. Look at what you can do for your country. And that's what we are now doing right now under the Heritage curriculum. They are talking about we are going to be graduating here, but what else can you do for your country? That's what they are saying. We are now talking about the 5.0, but 1960 it was predicted by someone who was now assassinated, but he talked about that. You see how the trend has been made since in the past. Because history does the same process over and over again. So history has reflected that once you find something that you want to do, once you find other things. Because right now, I was asking someone else that, do you know that if you did have access to resources, there are almost over 100 sports in Zimbabwe, and over 100 sports all around the world. Imagine if everyone has access to those sports. But now you will find one that you will find a living in. Try to imagine that how many sports are available and how many people are living through sports. But when they talk about sport, do not even participate. They don't talk about clubs, they don't want even to go to those clubs. You see how we are left behind. Because right now you have one thing, the other person is coming here to college, he's playing football, he's going to debate, he's also going in new class. And you only have one thing of being in class. So you are being left behind on the economic pillar, you already have one thing. And it's very difficult to succeed nowadays with one thing. Zimbabwe has proven that you can never make it with one thing. And this has told us that if you really want to live a better life, find multiple sources of income. There's no other way. So So if you don't find those alternatives, then it's going to be a problem. So you need to sign up for debate in public speaking, because one thing that it teaches you in debate is critical thinking. The idea that all the exams that you're going to be doing in math subjects, those math subjects, they're going to be public speaking. Other people will struggle in trying to interpret questions, but once you do debate, you'll be ahead in current affairs. It covers almost everything. That's how important the skill is. That's why it is scarce. That's why no one else is participating in it. I think I can ask Belinda, how many are in debate? Are we even above 20?
Yeah, not really.
We don't even reach 20. You see how valuable it is still now, the idea that the numbers are not there. How many numbers are here? But how many are participating in debate? Scarcity creates value. Things which are scarce are the ones we are very important. That's why God is important. That's why even diamond is precious. Why? Because you have to scratch all the earth's surface to be able to find it. The process is hard. That's what you have to do, and you have to try to find alternatives, attitudes that shapes your life. Like you're like finding things that no one else is pursuing, and being able to see the numbers, the reflection of those numbers, and trying to work hard to find a way in which, how can I penetrate that thing? How can I start it? How can I do that? So the other thing that I'm going to be doing is that we are going to be organizing with the other company. We're going to be organizing what you call boot camps, where we are going to be training you to paint in public speaking. Maybe it's going to be a week or 2 weeks. It's all going to depend with you. You are the one who are going to be the co-pilot of saying that we feel like we need a boot camp with you to learn about the date, boot camp with you to learn about the business. How do you go through the process of doing this and doing that? So it's all going to depend with you. And once you decide to say that we can do it on our semester break, then you can tell me that you decided to communicate with me, then I can know what I can do to come and be able to do that. So anyone with a question, any contributions before we close this chapter? Because I can talk for the whole day, because I have a lot of things that I have to do. Anyone with a question? I have to find one question, comments, at least one. Okay. Yes, I saw a hand somewhere. Okay, debate is done at the one. When we should go, that's when they do debate. So they do it on Tuesdays and Fridays at the afternoon. Yes. And you are now. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can find more product on it. Yeah, it's still high school.
Yes.
And I refer to high school.
Yes.
Like high school is come to you. So like from over there now. So there's the person, right? Why would I know about that? I see Maria again. You know that man. Nigeria, I see Maria. But in everything, he has seen opportunities. Last time he asked me what I did not know. I would have moved. So I don't know how those guys are going to see the other. The guy who is going to happen.
Any other question? From this row, we got a question from this row there. Maybe from this row in this row. That row? Yes? You want to say? You should say something. Any question inside? No. Then also on the other side, no again. So we don't have any questions. Business studies people. Really. You should find something to ask. So you are saying that what I said was very understandable.
Yes.
Very understandable.
Yes.
Okay.
I wanted to ask you, also you're teaching about financial literacy related to business.
Yeah, okay. What's the aiming point is that the program is aiming to also try to cater for other recent trends, which is also looking at financial literacy, like we said, and teaching our financial education and debate aside, and also talking about also how can we utilize the digital skills that we have to try to find a way to have a business. So we are going to be doing social media management and cybersecurity, all those other focuses. Anything that is linked to recent trends, we are going to be also looking at that. So that the program we are going to structure it that way that it's not going to be just debate focused. We're also going to focus on personality development in other aspects. Yeah. And I think we need a question from this side. Any questions from this side?
Comments?
Any questions? Yes, ma'am. You want to say something? You felt like you wanted to say something. Alright. So if there is no okay.
I wanted to ask, is it just
Can you repeat again?
I said just participate in debate, but also this competition.
Yes, the debate is wider. We have public speaking, we have peace, and we also have spelling bees. Yeah, so it's wider. You can get aspects for any other activity there. Maybe you can say like your strength is not in debate. You can also try public speaking. You can also try things. You're allowed to. We have a wide range of activities. That was a good question. Any last one? If there is no other last question.
Thank you as well for teaching us about debating public speaking.